Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Adam the Chef. Today I'll be doing a chocolate tart with a raspberry Kool-Aid and clotted cream. Nice easy recipe, and I'll do it all by hand and I'll do the step-by-step process. Hope you all enjoy. So, to start with, we have 90 grams of unsalted softened butter. You want to add that into a mixing bowl along with 65 grams of caster sugar. You then want to cream these together. Again, you can use a mixer, but I'm doing it by hand and I'm using my bread scraper. And you just want to mix these together until they become lighter and a bit fluffier in colour. Should take about 1 to 2 minutes. That's just me doing a test there to see if I'm happy. Then add the egg yolks one at a time. That's 3 egg yolks in total. And you just want to mix them well enough until they're all incorporated into the butter and sugar. As you can see, the colour's got a nice sort of yellow colour now. Perfect. So now we add 200 grams of plain flour and do this little by little. Try not to spill over the bowl like I did. And then that should start to form a bit of a dough there. You then want to tip it all out onto your surface and use your hands to start getting a feel for it and start combining it together further. You don't want to overwork it like you would a bread dough. It's a pastry dough, so it's a bit more delicate and it will be harder to roll if it is overworked. So just 3 to 4 minutes, less than that. Get a nice sort of silky consistency on it, and then put it in the fridge for about half an hour minimum. Now your pastry dough has rested in the fridge for about 30 minutes minimum. Just want to put that on the side for 1 to 2 minutes and begin to butter and flour the tart case. The reason we butter and flour it is to make it easier for the chocolate tart to come out of it later. So you just want to make sure you do that well and get in all the crevices. We then lightly flour the surface we're going to roll the pastry dough on and form the circle shape of the dough as best as we can. And keep turning and adding more flour when necessary, because you only sort of get one chance on this pastry, and you want to make sure it doesn't crack and it's all right. So yeah, just be very delicate. I think that's perfect. So now I put it into the tart case, rip off a bit of excess dough and use that excess dough to press all the pastry as close as I can to the tart case, allowing no unwanted air bubbles. I then use cling film. Again, I don't have parchment paper, but cling film is fine to use, and I actually do find it works better because it can get even closer to the pastry dough. I then use some lentils and rice mix. It's similar to baking beans. If you have baking beans, use them, but this works just as well. And then press that as close as I can to the pastry dough. I then fold in the cling film just so none of it spills over when I'm moving it about, and I bake that for about 20 to 25 minutes in the oven. After the tart case has baked in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, I then take out the inside of the rice mix and glaze the tart with 1 egg yolk and rebake that for 5 minutes just to crisp up the base and the sides. I then start with the filling and use 300 grams of dark chocolate and 200 grams of unsalted butter and just gently melt that down over a pan of boiling water. You don't want to make this boil or anything, you just want to get it lightly melted. When the chocolate and butter is lightly melted, you then want to just place the bowl on the side and just let that cool down, because now we're going to make this sabayon mix, and that includes 3 egg yolks and 3 whole eggs and 60 grams of caster sugar, and this needs to be beaten together until it becomes light and fluffy. As you can see, I do speed up the process here. It does take about 5 to 7 minutes, but as you can see, that's got nice and light in colour and much more fluffy in texture. We now use this Savion mix we have made and place it into the chocolate and melted butter. I use the side of the bowl to minimise the risk of any of the air we've created to break down into the mix. And I also use a spatula, or you can use a metal spoon, just to gently fold it in and be as delicate as you can until it's lightly incorporated into the whole chocolate mix, as you will soon be able to see. There we have it. That takes about 5 minutes of careful mixing, and then we can place that into the finished tart case. Once that's done, we then place it into the oven for about 5 to 6 minutes. After the tart has cooked for 5 to 6 minutes in the oven, I allow to cool down on the side for 30 minutes and then place in a fridge for 2 to 3 hours. After that's happened, I trim off the edges of the tart with a serrated knife. I get a bowl, turn it upside down, and easy as that, the metal rim comes off. I then, to get the base off, place it down and lightly and carefully push it away. Simple as that. All I do next is just dress a plate with some clotted cream and some raspberry Kool-Aid. Raspberry Kool-Aid, dead easy to make, it's just raspberries and ice and sugar. I then just put a bit of ice and sugar on the chocolate tart, and there we have it. A nice, simple, easy, homemade chocolate tart with some clotted cream, fresh raspberries and raspberry Kool-Aid. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, subscribe or comment, and I look forward to doing the next one. Any ideas you may have, just please comment below and I'll do my best to make some more.